What is up, nation? It's your boy Duo, and today I want to bring to you guys a Master Duel hand trap tier list. Now, there's been a little bit of confusion and discussion amongst the community about what hand traps are good, what hand traps are bad. So as someone who's made it to the maximum rank of Plat 1 for the past 3 seasons, I wanted to give you guys my opinion and give you guys some advice on what you should and shouldn't play. So let's get into it. Also, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. We're nowhere close right now, but it's gonna happen one subscriber at a time. So starting off with Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This is easily one of the most versatile hand traps in Master Duel right now. It's been that way since the game came out. It just covers so much and it has a really strong effect negation tool. And so I think that everyone should realistically be playing Ash Blossom. It's just too good not to play. There is arguably no matchup in this game where Ash Blossom isn't good. DD Crow. DD Crow definitely has uses, but those uses can vary between matchup to matchup, and a lot of times being able to resolve DD Crow is not going to do that much. I will say it's a good hand trap, but unfortunately it just does not do enough. Droll and Lockbird. Droll and Lockbird has a very powerful effect. The problem is going to be getting it off. There are some weird scenarios where this works, obviously with decks like Danger where they're just constantly adding, but it can also work to stop your opponent's max C. After they draw the first card, you can just droll them. Unfortunately, that does lock you out of searching, so you have to kind of be careful. I think this card is a double-edged sword in the sense that it can be good for stopping your opponent, but it can also unintentionally stop yourself as well. Now to talk about Psy-Frame Gear Gamma. Now Gamma has an incredibly strong effect, but it does have a lot of weaknesses. First of all, it's at 2 and you have to run the mandatory 1 of Driver, so you have the potential to brick with this. Additionally, it's not that good outside of the first turn of the duel if you're going second, because if you're going first, you're going to have monsters on the field, and any point turn 2 afterwards, there's just not going to be any way to really use it unless you make the Lambda, but no one is really using Lambda, so it definitely has an incredible effect, but I would say it's just good. There are better things to run for sure. Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. I think Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion has a lot of really good effects, especially considering that we have decks like Drytron and Eldritch and Tri-Brigade dominating the format. I don't know if it's good enough to be mandatory, because a lot of times it isn't enough to stop a combo, but I would definitely say it's a really great hand trap. Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. This is kind of just like a boneless Veiler or Imperm. I wouldn't say it's really worth the investment. Honestly, I'll put it as meh. It doesn't stop your opponent's normal summons or their effects, which is really annoying. So you kind of have an issue where this thing's applicability is just so limited. It's better to just play other things. Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Now, Ogre definitely has a really effective destruction effect, but a lot of times what you're going for is stopping a combo, and so you really want effect negation, not destruction. So I would say Ghost Ogre is good, but unfortunately by itself it's not going to do enough to stop big combos. Ghost Reaper. If you can get Ghost Reaper off, it's incredibly good. The problem is you will almost never get this card off unless you are playing a deck that doesn't rely on the extra deck, or you just so happen to be running into the mirror match. In a best of 1 format, it's not a very good idea to be playing this card. You should just not even try to make it happen. Ghost Nun and Spooky Dogwood. I think that's what this card is called. Something like that. This card's terrible. Life points don't matter. It doesn't get you any card advantage. Doesn't negate anything. Don't play this, ever. Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is a great hand trap. Absolutely. It does have the downside of it's completely useless in the Eldritch matchup. Outside of, I guess, some incredibly niche uses that involve setting it in the same column as like a Floodgate. But really, outside of the Eldritch matchup, this card is just your universal monster negation tool. It's incredibly strong in that sense. being able to set it. Sometimes you can jank people with the set activation effect, so you definitely want to be playing Imperm. Artifact Lancia. Lancia is... it can do work in certain matchups, but those matchups are basically limited to Phantom Knight, and that's pretty much it. And I guess some grass decks as well, but there are better cards to be playing in the grass matchup. You're incredibly limited in your matchups where Lancia will be useful. You can kind of use it against Eldritch to stop their traps from activating in the graveyard during the end phase, but all that does is really buy you a turn or maybe an additional card or something like that. It's not going to be a matchup ending card that just gets you to the win, so I definitely don't recommend playing Lancia. Max C. Everyone knows how good this card is. It's just so incredibly powerful. At worst, it trades with itself and you get one draw. At best, it completely ends your opponent's turn. So this card definitely is full of potential and you should play it. Nibiru. This is another card that kind of suffers from it's really good outside of the matchup of Eldritch, so I would definitely say it's a great hand trap. If your deck doesn't have a good way to deal with Eldritch naturally, I would say maybe get rid of Nibiru for, you know, your Harpy's Feather Dusters or your Twin Twisters or some form of back row removal, but Nibiru is just the greatest anti-combo card ever. It's also immune to Called by the Grave, so if they're playing that, you don't have to worry about it. Skullmeister. I think Skullmeister is secretly easily the most underrated hand trap in the game right now. It can be used in basically every matchup. It's not a hard once per turn, so you can use it twice in the same turn. I think it's an amazing hand trap. It's not good enough to be mandatory, but I think a lot of people would normally put it in the meh or good tier. I think this hand trap is fantastic and people should definitely play it. Token Collector. This thing sucks. Its only real use is for combating the Halqifibrax combos when they make their Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon and they summon their 3 tokens. You would use it to tribute off those tokens, which is really good for stopping their combo. But not a lot of decks are using Auroradon, so you're probably never gonna find a use for this thing. Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler definitely is a great hand trap. Its use is almost universal, again outside of Eldritch, but it's not a hard once per turn, and it's also a tuner that you can use for your Halqifibrax and Selene combos to get to access Code Talker, but Effect Veiler doesn't do anything against Eldritch, so it's only great. There are plenty of other options that you can choose instead of Veiler to cater to whatever matchup you're trying to cover, so definitely good, but you might be cutting it for other things. So that's going to do it for the tier list. Thank you guys so much. Make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know what kind of content you want to see from me. I love doing this helpful content to help people out. So let me know what you guys want in the comments below, and I'll see if I can make it happen. But see you in the next one. Peace.